somebody right now, like they're gonna be the next billionaire.
I mean, it's damn near it's Diddy. It's got to be Diddy.
I wouldn't know. I think Diddy, but I'm thinking somebody younger. And the only reason I'm saying that is because when you look
Drake?
how fast, yep, I'm thinking Drake.
He's about a couple deals away from probably doing that.
When you got he got the OVO shoe deal with Jordan. When you look at everything he kind of needs to get to that $1 billion status, those places of wealth, his contracts and his negotiations was absolutely immaculate. So he's getting more off his publishing than any other artist we've ever seen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Certain investments he has, who knows what he has out there. I'm sure his net worth is probably damn near close to a $250 million or $500 million now.
I'm trying to look at it right now.
You know what I'm saying? And the dude's only, 33? I think it's very realistic, about 40.
180.
180. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Another 10 years. I think it's realistic to see him at a billion. When you look at rap artists at 180 million, that's a lot of fucking money for a rap artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
fuck yeah.
He's going to be all right.
Oh, Aubrey.
You know what I was going to say? I know you bought Vic 50 Cent's new book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter.
Yeah.
In that book, he talked about wanting to be on an Oprah Winfrey show when it first came to fame, to prove to his grandmother that he achieved greatness. But Winfrey publicly slammed him, calling his lyrics misogynist and accusing him of glorifying gun violence. He said that she completely went against everything that was in my music. So she ain't never going to have me on that show. I'm never going to reach that platform, which is confirmation of being a huge success. So I just said, okay, if we can't be friends, then at least let's be enemies. Now, we've seen him very vocal about a lot of the antics Oprah Winfrey did. We're very excited about reading that book. We talked about, you know what I mean, having some conversations about that book, among other books that hip hop artists are talking about, man, or writing, excuse me. Word. What do you think about, both of y'all, what 50 Cent said about Oprah?
I honestly think I don't blame Oprah. Not that I say that I agree with her, but I don't blame, her and Madam CJ Walker, all these people. I might have said the name wrong, but I forget the ladies back in the day who was protesting. It might have been her name, a protest against hip hop lyrics and whatnot. But they come from a different era and they see the music, as just harmful to the next generation. So, but with that being said, though, I'll say that Oprah, as a black woman, should have embraced 50 Cent, in my opinion. You know what I mean? As opposed to putting that statement out there and not dealing with him.
Here's my thing. I would have to go along those lines. You can agree or disagree with what the man was saying, because at the time, listening to a 50 record, he was sticking people up. Right. He was gun violence. He was the Teflon Don. He was out here giving you context of what he lived. Right. And when you look at Oprah Winfrey, 4 o'clock on ABC, the biggest show in the world, very, very, even though that she had athletes, hip hop artists and things like that, you ain't see a 50 on there. So I understand why she didn't, but to be so vocal about it and to give so nasty of a remark, and now history shows you that this is a little bit of a pattern for Oprah when it comes to our entertainers, our celebrities, our athletes that may have a little bit of a checkered past, or whatever you want to fucking call it. So I ain't mad at 50 either for drawing a line in the sand and being vocal about criticizing her words do.
I mean, the bad part about it is like these guys are young when they first come out. Mm-hmm. So it's like you got to see the evolution. It's like your mom, she's going to love you the whole way through, when you was a knucklehead in your teens and now, all right, you're in your 30s. Now it's like you mature. Now look what 50 Cent is doing. So it just makes it look bad on her that she couldn't put that shit to the side. And regardless of what was going on, what he was saying, ask him about it on the show. Ask him about, how do you think your lyrics is affecting the next generation, and would you stop and whatnot? Right. Obviously, we see that 50 kind of fell back from that. Now he's trying to do shit to empower. So, yeah, shame on Oprah.
Man, my son's 11, and he would have no idea who 50 was 10, 15 years ago. Word. Looking at who 50 is now. Executive producer, Word. Entrepreneur. Like, you got to let people evolve. And that's why I'm excited and want to give a little bit of slack to like your Kodaks and at the time, homeboy that ratted on everybody just because they were young and stupid.
Tekashi? Oh,
at the time, I ain't talking about what the whole. Listen. Love to stir the pot. Love that shit. I'm talking about when he was going about his antics and doing stupid shit. Oh yeah. I'm not talking about once he went in the courtroom and started making grown man decisions and making, you know what I mean. Once he did all that, now he is who he is. He had to hang on his own rope. But I'm talking about early on. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to let people evolve. People are young, stupid, and they're going to do their dumb shit. So
Word.
That's all I got to say.
No doubt. Vic, what you think about that? Oprah. Oprah and 50 Cent, her not want to deal with him when he was younger.
I mean, Oprah, I understand, but like you said, she should have had him on the platform and said like, how do you feel like your lyrics is affecting the next generation?
Word.
And then later down the line, just have another interview about what he's doing now, because he's obviously doing a lot now for the black people, culture.
Word, definitely.
And
word.
I feel like if you have two black people, you should be trying to empower each other. If Oprah is that mother figure, and 50 Cent is that little son, why doesn't she nurture him to get him to this path that he is taking now?
That's a good point. Yeah.
That was kind of what Dorian was talking about with black platforms, man. And when you think about back then, it wasn't many black platforms. And you look at Oprah, you kind of look at it as a black platform when it really wasn't. And that's why it's important to support ones doing that now. And that's why what Dorian did yesterday was so dope and impactful, man.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't think Holly Berry, I don't know if you remember this story, but she'd be like on the carpet and like it'll be all these, white outlets, the ETs and all these Inside Edition, whatever. She skip right past them and go to the black outlets. And we can kind of attest to it ourselves, man, going to BET and probably other different awards. It's like, ain't really no spot for you like that. It's like, if you ain't the big, the big wigs, like, all right, you go off to the side and we'll get you last. We got to change that shit, man. That's why we got to put ourselves, on a map as being a premier what people want to come to. But even if you are, it's just like you got to deal with some of those things. That's why I like the way Dorian Missick was so open with the racial inequality and different things that he dealt with in Hollywood. I think that was just dope and to put that out there, because he could have just held that close to the vest and took his millions and say, nah, everything is good. I'm loving the way that he did that, man.
Man, that podcast will be out for the people tomorrow, man. I know y'all hearing a lot about Dorian Missick in that interview, man. ABC's Star for Life, the series produced by 50 Cent, man. Yeah. And I forgot who else did it, but man, it's a great series, man. Great show. Go check that out. Definitely.
Yeah, earlier today, man, the baby was he was accused, of assaulting a driver. I'm not going to get into the whole story pretty much. Well, I'll give you a little bit of it. Pretty much he said he was smoking weed. The driver told him to put it out. They're saying that he assaulted the driver. And here's the words they said that he allegedly said. He said, you ain't the boss. You're lucky you're not in my city, because I would have killed you, cracker motherfucker. Now, because of the alleged incident, the baby, they said he has an active warrant for misdemeanor battery. But when it came down to it, I think the Shade Room and other people and the baby Shade Room reposted the baby's comment about him saying that it was 100% false. So we shall keep you guys updated on that story as it develops, whether it's true or not.
Yeah, man. And it's just, hopefully it's not true, but we talked about this. We talked about it with rappers in the past. It's just a paper trail of nonsense that goes along with them that kind of makes you worried. They're like, damn, could they be the next one to sit behind bars for a couple of years? You don't want to see that happening to the baby when his career is just beginning to get crazy, just beginning to blossom. He went from relatively nowhere to selling out shows all across the country, on fire right now. But there's a lot of stuff around him that just is not, I don't want to say negative, not on like an NBA YoungBoy negative, but it's just a lot of nonsense, a little ticky-tack headlines that come out that kind of paint him a certain way. And he has to get a hold of that, whether it's true or not. I'm not sitting here saying what happened is true. He's denying it, so I'm glad.
Right.
But outside of you not even being in that car or any situation being around it and it being a blatant lie, what happened to ignite that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just have more of a level head and let's get out of these situations, man, because you're an absolute star.
I thought motherfuckers was locked down. How the fuck is people going out?
That's what I was thinking, man.
Oh, that was crazy.
Word.
Yeah, but we'll definitely, see. I kind of tend to believe him in this situation, but, we will see in the next couple of days if anything comes out of that situation. Probably nobody later on tonight, actually.
Fact.
What goes on with that. But yeah, man, Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. You got something else over there? That's it.
Yeah, man. We got King Shooter. The unfortunate passing of King Shooter. King Shooter was currently signed to Nas and Jungle Massive Pills offshoot. Street Dreams Records has unfortunately passed away. Fellow hip-hop artist Big Twins was informed the Queensbridge native was hospitalized for liver problems. There's speculation he was possibly contracted with COVID while in the hospital. However, his official cause of death has yet been confirmed. King Shooter was one of the new guys coming up in Queensbridge. Big Twins told Hip Hop DX. Nas just signed him to the Street Dreams Records. He was coming with it What's crazy is that Alchemist just hit me 3 days ago asking me, who's this dude Shooter? He's nice. Now, they also said that he was one that broke through most, getting hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube and really coming with bars. Me and his father go way back. We used to play basketball together, and he used to date my older sister, Big Shooter. Oh, excuse me, but Shooter. Next up to represent Queensbridge, unfortunately passed away due to liver issues. Oh God, your thoughts?
Sad situation. Unfortunately, I never, had the privilege of learning about that young man, but hopefully one day we would have. I'm sorry I have to hear about him this way. Condolences to his family or friends if they may hear this particular episode on the podcast. And that's all I got to say, man. I mean, obviously somebody like Nas sounds, you got to be dope.
Yeah, and unfortunately his last post on Instagram was on April 24th. You see him in the hospital bed right there. We'll drop the picture for y'all on the screen. It's on his IG caption. This can't be life. I said Henny was stronger than Rona. I ain't know it was that strong. No more drinking for me. Rest in peace, man.